Okay, so a good way to look at equations is to pretend like everything's a number except for the thing you're working on. So for instance, if I'm looking at this and we're trying to solve for that b, pretend for a second it was 10 equals 8 minus 6b. So let's just think of something a little simpler than what that looks like. And then hopefully it's a little clearer as to what you could do here. From this spot, again, same form, I could subtract the 8 over and then divide the negative 6. I think I'll go ahead and do that over here. So if I subtract this term over, I will have y equals minus 8mx, because what I'm doing is I'm going minus 8mx on both sides. And then that equals this negative 6b. I don't love that negative. I could divide through by a negative. I don't know if the computer would mark it right or wrong. Strictly speaking, it's not proper to leave a negative like that in a denominator. So maybe just to clean up that sign so that I'm not dividing by a negative, I'm going to multiply both sides of this by negative 1, just to get the sign flipped around. So then I would have negative y plus 8mx equals 6b, and then from there I'll divide that 6 over. You could also have this written as, and it would even look a little bit better, as 8mx minus y, but this means the exact same thing. Likewise, if I had left it this way and divided by the negative 6, the computer might have taken it. Again, we just don't love a negative in the denominator. But so that would be one way to go. As I'm looking at this, I'm going to show you one more version that we could have done. And that is, I could also flip the 6b rather than multiplying by the negative 1. Again, anytime the variable that you're solving for is negative, it's just a little ugh. It means there's going to be a negative sign running around. So what if instead of bringing this 8mx over, what if I added the 6b over to this side? So then I would have y plus 6b equals 8mx. Then I could subtract over the y. So 8mx minus y. And now I can divide out the 6. And so if you can see that ahead of time, you actually get nicer math, but probably most people would do that, so I wanted to show you how to get out of that spot should you. But the idea of kind of solving so that this thing ends up a positive does tend to make the math flow a little bit easier. So there's a couple of ways to get there. Again, think about if this were something simpler, what you would do is the exact same math you do, even if it looks complicated. So hopefully that helps.